Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Um, so yeah, we're going to be diving back into NASDAQ and US30. Last week we did dive into a little bit of crypto. Um, there has been a little bit of a shift in the markets now since fundamentally there's been like news that's been coming out throughout the week, last week, which brought in a lot of volatility within the markets, but we'll dive into that um, as we analyze NASDAQ. So just to explain, this is the highest point. Well, no, this is the highest point. This is the highest low. So just zooming back onto the monthly, this was kind of just like a pullback. I didn't really want to like move too far out and actually mapping out my zones. So from the break of the highest high to the highest low to the highest point up top above here. Um, just zooming in on the weekly, I wanted to actually just space in through in between this zone right here because I don't want to move a little too far out back because NASDAQ is pretty much at a really high level to this point as we see now. So I'll do from top to bottom and just mapping out my zones. So yeah, last week, Trump had announced that he will be pausing, he'll be placing on a 90-day tariff pause on any of the rates that he had announced a week before, so last week, um, based on the tariff rate increases that he is kind of implemented on the countries that the United States trades a lot with. So we saw a bit of a shift in the markets, bullish momentum primarily so actually, which I was expecting a little more bearish movements as is, but um, with the pause, we are currently going to see a little bit of relief from many businesses that are operating within the states and outside of the states, through different countries like France, majority of most European countries, and countries like South Africa as well too. Um, at least time will be given in terms of just actually finding a solution and strategizing how businesses will operate around the tariff increased rates as it is. So now that I've actually mapped out my zones, we are going to now go to the move on to the candlestick chart. So as you can be able to see, we have been actually seeing a lot much more. Just gonna zoom in on the daily. We have been seeing a lot much more bearish momentum actually pushing through within the markets as time progressed. So I'm going to actually just place in my, wait, need to see something. Okay, so I'm going to place in a few zones from this level that we hit on the weekly. Below here, I'm just going to place in a few couple of daily zones so that we can be able to just analyze and see certain areas within the charts. I'm going to review. So to see this, I don't want to place in too many. Okay. All right. Okay. So now we are that we're just going to kind of zoom in onto the the 4 hour time frame just to actually get a little bit of a scope. So we've been seeing kind of just like bearish momentum kick in within the markets from the beginning of like February. So just going to take out my pathway route right here. So from here, here to those here. So now we've kind of seen a change in character where we're seeing an M formation actually form right now as is, where price came through and retested this level right here. So as I am just going to reset here, as we're seeing now, this area right here of support and resistance is a very crucial area which has been tested within the market. So this long candlestick that is right here, which is on the 9th of April, was the day that Trump announced the pause on the 90-day pause on the tariff rate increases. So we're going to kind of just like see bullish momentum actually creep in within the markets now, as we're seeing a change in character where price has come through, created lower highs and lower lows within the markets. So from up top here, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So we're seeing a rejection when price comes in, creates a lower high, and then does fails to break this low, which is at the bottom here. So we see a breakthrough where we see a higher high now and a higher low. So what we could potentially be expecting as throughout the week is a lot of like just bullish momentum actually pushing through within the markets, where we're going to probably see price reach this level, then retest this higher high and create a higher low, and then a continuation in maybe hitting this area, which is 20,369, as we're going to be within a bullish trend through the next possibly 3 months moving forward. So yeah, that's how I'm seeing on NASDAQ. So US30, we'll kind of just get a view on it. So US30 is all two, pretty much similar structure. I'm just going to actually also take this two for, I'm just going to place out my level here. Where is this? Weekly time frame. I'm just going to actually place it up top here. I think based on the forward. So this is the high low and high high within the weekly. So this was kind of just a little bit of a pullback. So then now we're actually going to just map in our zones again, exactly what we've done um, on why is this doing that now? So as how we've done on NASDAQ. So the key and trick in actually mapping out your zones is just making sure that you don't make sure that your charts are a little too congested with the areas. But if you really do want to get an understanding of these zones and how to actually really map them out on your charts accurately enough, my course is available. I will share the Instagram account, but there will be more information on how to actually map out these charts. You can also join also for a free group on WhatsApp. So, but I'll dive into those things a little later on in the video once I'm done. So, uh, student series and good. Zoom in onto daily. Same with US30. Just seeing bearish momentum actually keeping within the markets. So I'm just gonna take out my pathway. So yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's just literally touch this zone and didn't necessarily reach above, but so now we are here. But now when we zoom in onto the 4 hour, it's kind of a little bit much more of a different story, similar to actually how NASDAQ has actually played out. So these two have actually been in sync lately. It's not always that you'll find them both being in sync based on the movements, but if you had caught a visualization of how they were in sync, then you were kind of just lucky on taking opportunity of this. For this. So from this low, the current low that we're experiencing now, as I'm just going to map in my daily zones, just to make sure that we don't get it too confused. What am I doing? So this time frame is on the 4 hour. Must be on the daily. So we're just going to see. Mhm. All right, so I'm not going to push the levels a little too far out. I don't want to add in too many areas where you'll just see consistent congestion. But as explained, we've been on a downtrend. So same situation happened with I'm just going to change this into we have the same situation which has been happening with US30 as well. So we just put it in a little much more better context, so we kind of just been seeing retracement with market structure actually moving to the downside. So as we zoom in now onto 4 hour, we're seeing an M formation actually happen on this weekly level. So now as we take in here, we let me do this. This low here, taking this, yeah, same pretty much structure on how NASDAQ is going to be playing out. So the snake was actually rejected as well too in this W formation that was placed in. So right around here, we saw a retest where the price is actually going to continuously keep pushing to the upside, and we're going to see a lot much more bullish momentum move in with US30. So if you've probably just missed this opportunity, you'll just probably just wait for move to come through on this area right here, create a retest on this level, and then continuously keep pushing up to the upside and actually reaching this weekly zone right here. So yeah, the final one that we're going to actually just be looking at is XRPUSD. So crypto as well too is kind of just also been on an upward trend. I have entered on positions with XRP. So because the volatility is not as crazy as it is in terms of looking at NASDAQ and US30 because they are stocks, we are just going to just map out and place in our zones, our weekly zones. So the volatility is not as crazy as it is here compared to how NASDAQ is overall, but you can find opportunities in catching some moves that do play out in the long, sorry. Go too far out. Just zoom in on the daily time frame. Based on the levels that we're actually currently seeing here on XRP, on the weekly time frame, we're now currently on the daily. So what we did actually witness was kind of just like a head and shoulders pattern, which I'm going to actually lay out for you and show you guys right now, but given based on the economic fundamental news that we got, I think we are going to be changing direction, moving on to a much more bullish scenario um, with XRP. XRP. Reason why I actually moved to trading cryptos because the spreads are not as too high as they were compared to how they were on stocks when things were really kind of just like dropping. So you get a really balanced out way, even risk to reward ratio when you actually do trade crypto compared to how you would if you were to trade stocks during the high volatile times, down momentum movements. So yeah, these are kind of just like the levels that I scoped out. Now as is, there was a trade that I had taken. I'm just going to map out my, so now on the 4 hour, but let me actually zoom out a little bit onto daily. So based on kind of just like the levels I'm seeing based on a weekly, I did see kind of just a head and shoulders pattern actually form as is. So from the upside, it's the left shoulder, price came kind of just like retested along this level right here, and then came into this weekly 2.0 level, price came and retested there, and then we saw kind of just like a left shoulder play off in the sense where price is now. Yeah, I think the completion of this shoulder is this head and shoulders pattern is actually not going to play out as expected. But I am on a buy position because when I did zoom in onto the 4 hour time frame, I saw kind of just a change in character in terms of actually momentum changing. So we've been kind of just seeing a uh, downtrend actually form as is, where we also saw a W pattern actually form on this weekly level. Yeah, and then we actually kind of saw a retracement where price came through, retraced the neck around this level here, and then now we're currently bouncing on an uptrend, moving straight to the upside. So what I'm actually going to be expecting within XRP is actually bullish momentum straight to the upside, continuing moving forward, because of also the economic and fundamental news that actually has been released. I'm just going to actually just map out and place in certain zones around here, which I see are very much so crucial for people to actually just take into consideration, be aware of. So so that we can get a really clear, accurate view. So as you guys can be able to see, it's a little much more accurate now. So I'm just going to start from here. Um, let's start from actually where we were. So the top area, price came through down there, retested, came through, created this W pattern here on the weekly zone, and then now retested this neck, and now we're on an uptrend. So what I'll kind of just be expecting as is just to highlight these zones right here. So it's here. So support, resistance, support, resistance, breakthrough, resistance, support. So now we're on a higher high and higher low trend to the straight upside, pushing XRP to possibly $2.35 moving forward in 2 weeks. So I am going to be expecting a lot of like bullish momentum moving into the charts. Just going to duplicate this right here. So this area also is all too. If we do maybe come back to retest this area, we could possibly see it as a buying zone pushing straight to the upside. I'm just going to actually zoom in on the 1 hour so that you guys can be able to just see. So it's much more clear on the 1 hour so that you can be able to actually see the structure placed on the trend. But yeah, this is how I'm just actually viewing the charts overall. Hopefully this does help anybody that's actually just trying to get a real clear visualization of the markets. This is our Instagram channel. Please do follow, like, and subscribe as well to our YouTube channel, as is. Our Instagram channel is available here. We do have the course that's also available that you can be able to check on our About Us highlights. And yeah, hopefully this video has been helpful to anyone. I hope this does just paint a much more clearer direction of how the charts are actually going to move about. As said and always will be said, this is not financial advice, but more in the sense of educational content for people just to actually learn from and to get a real better understanding on how the markets actually go about and operate as is. So thank you guys for watching this video, and see you in the next one. Cheers.